Last week, they said women could not fix and flip. Well, this week, we're showing them how it's done.
Yes to real estate!
Now being a mom of four, I'm required to be more on point, I would say.
I'm like overcoming being a people pleaser. You know, I need to put myself first.
Women in general do have this cattiness about us to where if another woman says something to us, it's, why does she feel like she can tell me about my life? She don't know me.
I'm a thick girl, I'm a curvy girl, I'm a black girl, I'm a natural girl. I am all these things.
Amen.
Okay, you working. Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to the Yes to Real Estate podcast. My name is Diamond Jackson, and for the team, I'm the transaction coordinator. I'm also with GC, and I do so much more. I'm super excited about our conversation today with the lovely ladies that I have sitting with me today. We have Ms. Brittany Lanier, who handles all of our social media content and outreach, and is just an overall dope person. We have Ms. Ashley Green. She works with us on our fix and flips, new construction, and is also a super dope person. And then last but never least, Ms. Sydney Campbell with Fix and Flip. She's our hard money lender, and of course, also a dope person. So we have four dope women sitting here, and our conversation today is going to be around fix and flips, but also just being women in real estate in general. So ladies, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Brittany, would you like to start first?
Sure. Hello, I'm Brittany Lanier. I am the owner of Mad Marketing and Productions. We do branding, marketing, social media management, and we operate in purpose. So we take purpose and we make content, websites, anything graphic design based, and we just take it and we market it and blow it out of the water. And I am excited to be a part of the Yes to Real Estate team.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Ashley Green. I am one half of Russ Green Properties that I run with my mom. Also a realtor, investor, mom of four. We're excited to be here, being part of Yes to Real Estate team as the GC along with Diamond.
Hi, my name is Sydney Campbell. I'm an investor and hard money lender, also founder of Building Real Estate Empires, Building Black Empires. I am newer to the real estate investing space. I've flipped a property, and I feel like I've flipped 100 though, dealing with my clients' properties, which has been fun. So I'm excited to sit alongside these ladies today and talk about the perks and challenges of real estate investing.
Absolutely. And I thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here today. We all know how this came to be, and I'm we were all able to be here together today. We all interact with each other, in one way or another on a daily basis. So we all know each other pretty well, but I want us to get a little bit more personal as we are women in real estate. So sticking with the fix and flip theme, do you guys feel like in this business you fixed and flipped yourself?
That's a good question, Diamond. Come on, Diamond. Diamond.
I just want to know,
So I'm new to the team. So watching the journey of you guys fix and flip houses, one, it happened so fast. You're like, whoa. Then now that I'm learning the stuff, helping you guys with the courses, I'm like, oh, so I can see parallels in life where it's like, okay, I have to show up and make sure this presentation looks like this. So when it translates to the buyer or the seller, it makes sense and people can easily see how it fits their vision or their lifestyle. So they want to buy or they want to sell to make sure it fits the vision. So I definitely see how it has caused me to level up in my presentation and the accountability of the marketing that I'm putting out. So absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's been 90 days. So it's been like 5 houses. So.
Yes. What about you, Ashley?
So I don't know how to put it into words, but now being a mom of four, I'm required to be more on point, I would say, more structured, more aware of what's going on because it's a lot. It can be a lot sometimes. It can be a lot. And I think being in the light now and having to be more present for events and these one-on-one calls and all these other kind of things, sometimes having to make that shift, your how do I put it? It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot.
Take your time, sister.
Yeah.
Take your time.
It's just a lot. But yeah, I think that's been the biggest flip, being the mom before and just kind of navigating myself and being able to be present for everything.
Right.
So
Mhm.
that's probably that.
And what about you, Sydney?
Oh, that question is deep, girl. But a beautiful question and perfect for even just the occasion one and the time for me. This is definitely a period of ascension for myself. There's been some growing pains for sure. Fixing and flipping myself in real estate. That has really happened over the last couple of months. And it's really been a beautiful thing. There's been so many successes, so many failures, but having to adjust, having to pivot, having to understand myself more as an individual, and then also as a woman, and being more confident about, what it is that I'm doing, my passion, staying close to God always.
Right.
And then also being like really in tune with myself as a woman and my intuition. So the hardest thing, but also my biggest flex, is like knowing who I am and knowing what my purpose is.
Absolutely.
And then not letting anybody or anyone change that, and like keeping my eye on the prize. There's a ton of different things that are always being thrown at us as people, but women, we really we really get it sometimes, you know. But having to get over imposter syndrome, having to just really coach myself, having to protect my energy and my mental space. And then, constantly telling myself what those limiting beliefs are, letting go of them, acknowledging them, and understanding what my actual truths are. So I'm always going to be fixing and flipping myself. Just like, we fix and flip a house, then we move on to the next one, move on to the next one, and then we're probably going to move on to we start off with those smaller rehabs, those cosmetic lipstick flips, and move on to those, okay, now we're going down to the studs, and, all right, we on a new construction, those things. So I look at myself in that same light. So constantly reevaluating, constantly looking at how I can adjust, how I can pivot, and I'm excited.
Have y'all noticed like flipping in your conversation? Like, even in my conversation, because I call myself a communication expert. Like, I love to communicate. I can see all perspectives. But even in my communication, like the flipping of how I talk now, especially about money or like what someone needs to do to get things done, like project management kind of thing. Like, it's even been like a level up of that. Because we talk about millions of dollars. We talk about big construction projects. We talk about flipping homes and what you need to do. So now it's like, you can't be like, oh, well, when you can, just, get it done. You're like, hey, this is what's needed. I need to get this done, da, 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 da. So the level up of conversations, just conversing with people, saying, I need this. I need it now. This is the time frame. This is what it's going to cost. This is how I need to get, like, it's been 90 days, y'all. I feel like 90 days, I feel like I touched the hem of his garment, and then I came back in 90 days, he rinsed me, and I was like, oh, like, it's 90 days. 90 days.
Yeah, for me, I mean, yes, I too feel like I have definitely fixed and flipped my life and my perspective on things. Starting off in the customer service world, the call center people y'all call for, that was me. Calling me, asking me about your bill, that was me. But and then coming out of that, getting into a completely different world of entrepreneurship, and not knowing anything about real estate, and just being thrown into as a transaction coordinator for somebody who's already doing millions of dollars worth of transactions. It was something I definitely had to mentally change a lot, because of coming from, just a steady job. You working from this hour to that hour. You're going to have your days off. You're going to, once you clock out of work, it stays there. You don't bring it back. But with real estate, that's out. It's 24/7, every single day, on go. So having that change, definitely helped my life and the way I live, and being able to be there for your kids more, being able to be there for events and things that they have going on. And and then speaking to what you were just talking about with, your change of language and the way you speak about things. I don't know if you guys ever have this feeling, but sometimes I hear myself speak. I'm like, dang, I really know this.
I know.
Like, oh, I actually do know what I'm talking about. But, just a couple years before, I didn't even have any idea of the things I'm talking about, So just going through that change. So I'm really happy to hear that you all feel that you definitely have things that flipped your life. And like Sydney said, it is a continuous thing. It's not something we stop, you know. Luckily, it is a project that we can continue working on throughout our whole lives, so we're never bored.
Yeah, you know, as women too, I feel, well, at least my experience is we're taught to, in this society, be submissive, you know, and we're here to take care of other people and to nurture and to, I'm like overcoming being a people pleaser, you know, always trying to make people happy. Yes. Also, like all of my jobs have been in customer service or sales. So, and I'm damn good at it for sure. But now being in this period where it's like, okay, it's a necessary shift to like, I need to put myself first. I'm the person that I need to please so that I can go out and do what I'm passionate about, which is helping and serving and pleasing other people, but not forgetting like who I am and making sure that when you talk about flipping in conversations, I started off in this real estate game as, like I would like to have my flip done before I need to pay back my hard money lender, you know, or even like now as a hard money lender, like, you know, I would like for you to have your documents in before your closing date. Now it's different. It's no, I need to have this project complete in the 2 months that you said it was going to take you to complete it. If not, let's talk about what kind of consequences or how we can hold ourselves accountable for that. If you'd like your loan to move efficiently, then I need you to turn your documents in 48 hours before closing because that's my deadline, and really honoring myself in that way. So real estate is not easy. We all know that. And it's looked at different because we're women and we're in this society where we're having to shift and demand respect. You know what I mean? But it starts with respecting yourself. So every day I have to reevaluate and talk myself up and be like, these are my standards. Like if it's going to cause me anxiety, if it's going to affect my happiness, then it's not the right opportunity. It's not the right deal, not the right people. You know what I mean? And you talk about shifting and flipping the conversation. You got to flip the conversation with yourself first so that you can flip it with how you show up in this industry for sure.
Absolutely. As you say that, Sydney, I've come to realize that in that flipping, you kind of have to start now. I wouldn't say picking and choosing who you give your time to, but realizing who is just trying to suck from you and not add value back to you, not valuing your time. Right? So I think that's another aspect of that. Just kind of having that conversation and knowing who you are and who you should value giving your time to. Yeah.
And then
I was just going to add to what Ashley was just talking about, because I know we just recently had a conversation or group chat rather where she was pouring into someone and I was like, okay, slow your roll. Like, don't give it too much because you're giving. And I know that's what she did, you know, just like Andre, that's how we are. It's just, we want to, you know, but sometimes you do have to remember like, okay, at some point I have to restrain myself so that I'm not over giving and honoring my own boundaries. But what were you gonna say?
Well, a couple of things with that. Like I have to watch myself too, and I've got some amazing female leaders that I work for at Flipco, and they've been coaching me and guiding me, and a huge part of the woman that I am today too. But not giving too much, not giving away all the secret sauce up front and not overwhelming people too. Because, you know, we're very passionate about our crafts and we're each in different parts of the industry too. But giving people, you know, just enough, having it to where they can come back for more and they can really digest everything that you're saying. But just piggybacking off of your question about flipping conversations, I've looked at how people approach me and how other women talk to me differently than I have before. I'm a very non-confrontational person and I hate having conversations around like stuff that I feel like is common sense, right? It just like, I'm just like, ooh, I ain't your mama. You know what I mean? But there's been a few times that I've been, actually more than a few, 28 years old, right? In this period of life, like I've taken how women have given me feedback or constructive criticism differently. And now, like, you know, I used to be like, oh, why is she coming at me with an attitude? And, you know, instead of me having that perspective, and this is with anybody, it doesn't matter, like, if you're whatever gender you are, you know, identify as, but especially like when a woman is telling me something that might be constructive feedback, or she's being very direct, since I'm not a confrontational person, having that shift where I'm looking at it differently as, hey, I have so much respect for this woman or this person in general that is setting standards and boundaries for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that a lot. Like, if we're working together on a deal and you're like, Sid, this ain't gonna work for me. I'm gonna need stuff to be, you know what I mean? Right. I could take that as, oh, she's coming at me like not appreciating what I'm doing or whatever. Or I can be like, hey, look, like this is a woman who like she's speaking up about, like it's causing her stress. However, stuff is working. It's not, you know, that's an opportunity of like, this person cares about herself. One, to speak up about something. She cares about me. Secondly, to tell me about something that she feels like I can adjust. So I also feel like, you know, with having those flips, or even just the fact that this is being brought up, it should be on somebody's mind that, you know, respect the fact that somebody's respecting themselves. It just may not be the right collaboration.
That's
but
another
nonetheless,
point that you say that, because I think as women in general, and I'm sure we all know this, do have this cattiness about us, to where if another woman says something to us, it's you know, that's that first instinct reaction is to be like, oh, well, you know, why she come to me? And why does she feel like she could tell me about my life? She don't know me, you know. But it doesn't always have to, like you said, it's just it's a mind shift change to be able to accept feedback, because everybody needs feedback and criticism. Nobody's perfect, you know. So that's a great point that you brought up, Sydney.
What would you rather? Would you rather somebody give you feedback about something, give you that hard truth you might not want to hear,
right?
Or would you rather them just stop doing business with you or not work with you at all? So it's like, you know, how I take it now, and this is kind of a little off from the topic of women, but you know, buying Black is, you know, something that's been a topic of conversation over the past few years, heavy, you know, something that I've noticed with supporting Black businesses, even women supporting women, so we can bring it on back to that. If you are saying that you want to do that, but then the minute one thing goes wrong, you know what I mean? Like you're back to your old buying tactics or whatever the case is. Like, or let's say somebody came out with like, let's say I came out with a badass pair of shoes, you know, and one thing goes wrong and I don't know, there's a blemish. And instead of you telling me about it, you go back to buying your like red bottoms or whatever, like, but you don't want to come tell me about it. It's not giving me the opportunity to fix it. So I think women realize that we're all on the same team, one, you know what I mean? And we're all trying to accomplish something, but being able to grow one as a person and have those critical or tough conversations is important.
I think that women, we're not taught how to be in a relationship with one another. Like generationally, societally, like we're not taught how to build relationships. So I didn't start building female relationships until I was 31. I was a fella. I'm hanging with the fellas. I'm gonna be with the fellas. Fellas don't need this. Fellas don't have that. So now to come in and know that, hey, being in a relationship with women is necessary because they understand more than what I think, you know, the fellas don't know about the, you know, the stuff. So, but we have to blend that in business as well. Like knowing that if something she did wasn't quite right, or if someone made a comment about it, saying, hey, in love, let me share with you what I've heard and how I think we can make it better, and accepting it in love. But we have to literally learn and teach that. So it's not something that's just freely given.
Leading by example, because it's not a competition
at all.
It's not a competition. And I think, you know, just having to, like, learning to be humble to, I'm a perfectionist and I don't like making mistakes, but I am so embracing of this new idea of being able to fail forward. You know what I mean? Make mistakes and then be okay with being vocal about it. Like, I'm human. I'm only trying to be perfect at being me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody else. But
I love that.
So I have another question for y'all. So we know there's always these beauty standards for us as women. Now we are in the year of the good Lord and Beyonce 2023. Do y'all feel those pressures to look a certain way or be a certain way as a woman, especially in real estate? Because we know Selling Sunset is out there with the women in the pencil skirts and the blazers and the heels every single day. I personally cannot do it. The beat face, I personally don't have the energy to put into all of that because I'm too busy working on something else. So do you guys feel any of those societal pressures still in this year? Or are you guys like, you know what, I don't care about none of that?
When I'm in the streets, no.
Yeah.
I can show up any kind of way.
Now, when you say in the streets, what do you mean so that it's clear?
Yeah, because we don't want it to be like Ashley for the streets. To clarify.
Yes. Driving for dollars?
Driving for dollars,
okay.
door knocking in the streets.
Right.
No, because of course, that's people want to see to be comfortable to open their door.
Mm-hmm.
But when we go to these meetings and these mixers and these this, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, that's not me.
Right.
I don't want to overdo to please somebody else, and I know that's not me. But yes, I still feel in the back of my mind, I should have wore that. Or maybe I should have put those shoes on. Maybe I should do my makeup like that, my hair like this. Yes, I do. All the time. But 9 times out of 10, I'm in the streets, door knocking, doing whatever else.
Right. Yeah. And plus with Houston weather, like, I don't know how women do it. Like, maybe I'm mixing the elixir, the spray or something. Like, how do you go out in this heat with a full face of makeup
and not look sweaty, not look like a sweaty dog?
Yeah. I don't know how to do it. But how do you guys, Sydney and Brittany, feel about
You want to go first?
Sure. Yes, I feel pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a thick girl. I'm a curvy girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a black girl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a natural girl.
Mm-hmm.
I am all these things.
Amen.
Okay, you working.
So it's like, oh, you can't wear that because back fat. Oh, you can't wear that because your butt's out too much. Like, it's so much. I tell you, I get dressed for comfort at this point. Like, I get dressed for what makes me feel comfortable that day. If I feel like putting on heels, great. Right. If I don't feel like it, no, I'm not going to do it. But I literally have to put myself in a bubble and say, this is how I feel today. This is what my look will be. Because otherwise, the outside voices come in, and I be in there for 15 minutes with nothing on and a bonnet on my head. Like, it's not going to work. So just dealing with the pressure is literally like separating myself.
Right.
I don't want to be what someone else says I should be. I want to be who I'm supposed to be, who God says I am, who these children need me to be, who my husband needs me to be, who Mad needs me to be, who Yes to Real Estate needs me to be, because I have to show up to be the face of me. So I literally, in a bubble, I stand in the closet, and because my husband picks out his clothes the day before like a good little person. I'm not that advanced yet, but I'm going to get in that closet and we're going to look 15 times until we figure out what we feel that day. And then,
might change tomorrow.
Yeah. Right, exactly. That's why I can't get to that before either, because next day I'll be like, you know what? Why did I pick this?
Exactly.
What about you, Sydney?
Ooh, this one's interesting. I'm like in this phase of reinventing myself right now. And it's always been a struggle. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, but I'm working a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
And for a minute, I was the only one that looked like me at my 9-to-5 job. And so having to figure out, like, how did I want to fit in? How did I want to show up was interesting. I'm used to wearing my curly hair. Y'all don't get too used to this because we are in Texas.
Yes.
But I would say it's a time and a place, like, for everything, and having to figure it out. But what I'm so excited about is I show up in whatever's going to make me feel confident. I'm not worried about being too underdressed. I'm not worried about being too overdressed. Now, because I'm working for somebody else, I do have to, like, adhere to a certain standard to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, I'm confident about what I do. I'm confident about who I am. And I can do that wearing whatever. But, I also realized that certain situations, certain opportunities showing up a certain way is also going to benefit me as long as I'm staying true to myself and my standards, then I'm cool with it. But yeah, it's pressure. It's
Yeah.
pressure for sure. Like I grew up in the country, like raising animals on a farm with like,
That's awesome.
you know, like boots, hair looking wild, walking around barefoot, and like this is new for me. Like my friend the other day was like, "You just gonna wear those heels to that Yes to Real Estate event? You're not gonna break them in?" And I was like, "Break them in? What are you talking about?" This was 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Girl, yes. How long does it take? Because we're not doing this anymore." But yeah, for sure. It's pressure, but it's fun. It's fun being a woman.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
love it.
I agree. Yeah, I feel like, this has been a really great conversation, first of all.
Yeah.
I feel super blessed to have you guys here with me and being able to be so open and vulnerable with me about the things we talked about. And, when I first asked that question about, have you fixed and flipped your life, it made me think about, because I mentioned Beyonce, so y'all know I'm a Beyonce fan. It's the line that she has in one of her songs where she says, "Step out your estimate." I'm about to cry. "And step in your excellence."
Ooh.
And I feel we do that every single day.
Yes.
And
Come on, take your time, girl. Take your time.
we have young girls that are looking up to us, that watch us every day. My kids, your kids,
Yeah.
Ashley's kids, Sydney's future
Sydney's
kids.
future.
I watch it from above.
Yes.
Y'all stay up there for a couple more
I was like, wait, who? But, so we doing that, stepping out of our estimate and stepping into our excellence every day shows especially our daughters, but of course our sons,
Yeah.
how important it is to move towards your goals,
Yes.
work every day, build, until you get to a place where, you're satisfied, your family's satisfied, you're able to sustain them, and you're also making a difference in your community
Yeah.
and showing other Black women you could do it too, girl.
Amen.
Period.
Yes.
All right. So I do
Period.
want to thank y'all again for coming out to the Yes to Real Estate podcast and joining me here on our lovely couch. Andre will be taking back over, but it was fun just to be us girls for once.
It was.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you, ladies. I love y'all so much.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I
too.
love you. Thanks, guys.
Yes. So
90 days. Thanks, guys.
peace out, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.